Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and I have a notebook hack for you today. Maybe this is a new series of videos, hack videos. So, basically I was in the need of a new journal. My current journal, Piccadilly, it was okay. Not entirely fountain pen friendly, but after 2 years of use of it, the ribbon fell out and the spine was breaking in several points. I figured, well, there's no point in finishing this one because by the time I finish it, it's gonna be in pieces anyway. So I started testing fountain pens on different journals. I tried a Moleskine, and Moleskine is surprisingly not fountain pen friendly. Well, maybe it's not surprising to you, but it was surprising to me. I've always thought of it as a high quality journal, but anyway. So I happened to get this Rhodia meeting book in a subscription box that I was trying out. Overall, that subscription didn't work. It was not a good one. I won't mention that company because no bashing here. But anyway, so I figured, well, I mean, I have this, I might as well try it, and it's Rhodia, so I know it's at least somewhat fountain pen friendly. And it being a meeting notebook, it has a little bit different layout. You have a place for the date up here, basically like presumably a summary of the meeting, and then your actual meeting notes, and then based on those meeting notes you can go back and write in actions. You know, I probably wouldn't use this in a meeting, but anyway. And then on the back, it just kind of continues that format. More room for notes and more room for actions. So basically, each physical page or sheet allows for one day or one meeting, which for me is probably going to work well, and I'll probably be able to get through this more quickly. And you'll see here, so I did test it with fountain pen inks. Pardon my horrendous writing, but I did some pretty intense trials here. For example, this Fountain Pen Revolution Himalaya V2 with Takia Gray, that is usually horrendous in journals. Getting lots of feathering and spread and bleeding. So yeah, the fact that it looks that good on this side gave me hope. And also, of course, when you have a stub nib, you know, you're gonna worry about bleed through. You see more stub nibs down here, and just some crazy testing. Yeah, and the results were really good. You do get some see-through, but virtually no. In fact, there's no bleeding. Even the Takia Gray. So that was pretty incredible. I was so thrilled. So I figured, you know what? This is kind of weird for a journal, but at the same point, it works really well. However, there's one problem. Look at that god-awful cover. Completely unimaginative, uninspiring. And I figured, you know, I have to do something about this. And based on my Rocketbook hack, I knew a basic solution. I could make my own cover. You know, if you can convert Rocketbook pages into being removable, I could make a cover that I could easily insert onto this notebook and even make it so that, you know, if I get tired of the cover or if it gets worn or whatever, I can replace it easily. So I had a lot of paper samples from paperandmore.com, and they have some really, really interesting papers. So they had some cardstock papers that they included in the samples that had a very interesting texture. So this is the new cover. And so you have this wood grain effect, which is an actual texture on the paper. It's not, it's printed on there, it's an actual texture. And you see I've been playing with fountain pen ink. So it's an actual texture on there, super, super nice. And I just cut it down to size, 8 1/4 this way, and 6 1/4 this way. And I had a similar, but different color for the back. So there you see, it has that same wood grain texture. It's a dark color. I love the two-tone cover. So light on front and dark on the back. And as you see, it just worked. It just worked beautifully. It's just gorgeous. I left the original cover on there, and just because, you know, extra protection. Because this cover isn't quite as stiff as the cover that came with it. So, and again, if this wears out, I can easily replace it. Because, and I'll show you on my, what I used as my template. So this was on the notebook like this. So what I did is I cut little slits all along for each hole. And that way you can easily put it back on or remove it. So that's what I did with these. I did, kind of after the fact, I did realize that it's kind of like a comb binding, really, rather than actual spiral bound. So I could have inserted the covers under the ends there. Could have. And that would have been a little more permanent, but as you'll see, let me just do it like this. That's not coming off, and we'll even test it like this. Well, you're not gonna see it, but it's pretty strong, actually, even though all those holes are cut. My one concern is I don't have something to round the corners. Although in the pages themselves, it's almost more like they're kind of kind of squared off. It's not completely rounded. So I could probably mimic that, but I may just add something to strengthen those corners, or I may just leave it like that and deal with it. Again, I can easily remove it and replace it. So anyway, that is my notebook hack. I took a Rhodia meeting book, cut out my own cover, and put it on. So if you happen to have a notebook or journal or something like that that is either spiral bound or comb bound, you can do this as well. Either completely remove the old cover and replace it with this, or just put this on top of the old cover. In fact, that way it kind of acts almost like a very thick title page. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Very excited about it. And I look forward to continue using this as my new journal. And there's the back side. So kind of a two-tone look there. And that is my latest notebook hack. But wait, I had a hack for the hack. So I was left with these scraps of paper, perfectly good, so why not put them to use, right? And I figured, well, if I double up the paper, that would strengthen those corners that I was concerned about. So with the scraps and some glue stick, I did this. How about that? So I cut out little triangles of the dark paper and glued them on to the corners of the front, top and bottom there. Pretty sharp, right? And for something a little different, on the back, I just glued a whole strip. So I glued the light paper onto the dark paper. And this one I didn't even have to cut. It was already cut to size. So I just glued it on there. And it looks so much better. My goodness. How's that for a hack for the hack? All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.